Hello YouTube. So today's video is about getting more followers on your social media accounts. So I've just started doing YouTube, and I thought if I was going to do it properly, I better do my research and make sure I do get more views and followers. And when you actually look at all the data analysis and different studies which have been performed, there's actually quite a few interesting ones. And the one I picked up today is from the Georgia Institute of Technology, which was done in 2013. And basically, they look at 500 Twitter accounts over a period of 15 months. Overall, they look at around 520,000 Twitter postings, and they just do like a data analysis. They do a longitudinal data analysis where they kind of work out what type of tweets led to the most amount of followers increase on these new Twitter accounts. So there's 4 points which were generally picked up in the study. The first one being make sure to keep things positive. So they saw the biggest reason for the decrease in the number of followers in people's Twitter accounts were if they put negative things on social media. So but this is just in terms of perspective. So if I elaborate, it's not necessarily it's not necessarily that you can't say anything which could be perceived as negative. So you can talk about the coronavirus, for example, which is generally considered to be negative, but it's just important that you put a positive spin on it at the end. So you can say something on the lines of the number of cases of coronavirus it were 100,000 for the world in this week or something, but just make sure to say something on the lines of but in comparison week before, there's been a 50% decline. So the important thing is just to make sure you put a positive spin on things. Second point. Objective versus subjectivity. So it was noted that people who actually put in tweets which were objective had a 30 times more increase in followers overall, looking at the data, in comparison to people who did subjective tweets. So by objective tweets, I mean saying things which are based on fact, or maybe based on someone else's opinion, or maybe like the World Health Organization's opinion, or maybe some kind of institutions, but just not giving your opinion, not giving subjective opinions all the time, which is actually kind of interesting, because actually what they also found was in another study was that subjective opinions are better if you already have a strong follower base. So obviously in terms of increasing followers, objective opinions are better, but once you have a follower base, sometimes it's better just to give your opinion, because I suppose the people who are already in your account are there because they like you, and they're following you because they like you, so they want to hear your opinion. But in terms of when you're just starting and you haven't got that many followers, I mean, people don't know who you are, so they don't really care what you have to say, but they are interested on objective information which is based on fact. Three, they said basically the study identified that social media accounts with better profiles with more descriptions were much better without descriptions. So I suppose if you're going to get information off some kind of social media account, you want to know who that person is. I mean, if it's some kind of random person just spouting random information like I am, you're not really inclined to listen to them. But obviously, if it's objective information based on some sort of study, and the person who's saying the information has some sort of credibility, then you're more likely to listen to them. So I suppose in my case, I've done a postgrad in economics, and I've done plenty of data analysis, specialising in education in particular. I'm also an accountant, so I've done also kind of financial data analysis, and I've got a bit of knowledge from that area as well. But let's say you're doing like a gaming channel or something. I suppose your kind of description would be what your gaming history is, or like who you collaborated with, or if you won any awards for games. But it would kind of come from that. But it's important to describe what your channel's about, and on your social media pages who you are. Fourth one, might not be able to see this one. So limit topics. So make sure to specialise. So I guess you could say if you just maybe do anything in your channel and you don't have a particular speciality of what your channel is doing, you could argue that maybe the number of people who will follow you will increase, because obviously there's a broad spectrum of people's interests, and there might be more likely people who actually follow you. But in general, that wasn't the case. I suppose the idea is that if you specialise in something, there'll be other channels which specialise in other things, and people are more likely to flock to those specialist channels just because they're going to have more information. So like, if I try and broaden my horizon and try and do everything like gaming and like movies and like music and education, then I'm not going to have as much information on a particular topic than an account which is specialising in gaming, for example. And also I think it just makes it easier. So like when a follower goes into your account, they know what they're getting. They know it's going to be education, and that's what they're after. But obviously, if they're kind of mixing all these other things into well, they're going to be, oh, whatever, fuck this. I'd rather go into another channel which is specialising in education. That way, I know what I'm getting all the time. And it's similar with tweets and Facebook as well. If you're doing loads of posting on Facebook, if you know that it's always going to be gaming information, then you're more likely to follow them because you know what you're getting. But yeah, those are the 4 basic items. Which, and although I'm only picked up one study here, this also links into quite a lot of the other studies as well. Generally, they have the same opinion. I just picked up this study because it has quite a good data analysis and it's got quite a good population to be based on. Okay, so basically 4 points to summarise. Make sure you keep things positive. Even if it is negative, make sure you put a positive spin on things. So maybe 1 negative thought, put 2 positives on it. 2, make sure you keep things objective when you're just starting a new social media account. 3, make sure you have a good description. Make sure you have personal details all sorted out so everybody knows who you are and what the channel's about. 4, limit topics. So make sure you specialise in what you're talking about, because otherwise people are just going to flock to other more specialised channels of social media.